Well, look at that. Isn't that a sight for sore eyes? The beautiful Hosana in the most perfect afternoon light. It seems as though he's spending quite a bit of time to fix the mast, and we were talking about absolutely perfect. There is not one scratch or mark on him, so it means that his scuffle with Tundi and his sister and Tamba and whoever else made their way through that sighting has definitely not affected him in any way. His nose is still perfect, his muzzle's perfect. He has got no sign of any injuries whatsoever. Now I wonder if he's going to walk straight towards us. It looks as though he is walking in our direction. Oh, careful there, boy. You can't stumble on the hurdle. It's always funny when leopards look so beautiful as they emerge from this golden light, and then at the last second they stumble. It really does make me laugh. So we're just going to take a little sneaky photo, just because it's the most perfect light. Isn't he looking magnificent? Look how broad his shoulders are getting. Oh boy. It's wonderful to see him again. And you can see he's just coming around the back there, just coming to say hello to Senzo. Now he's just going to creep through amongst everybody, and I wonder if he's going to go to the lodge itself. It looks like that's where he's heading. Now, across the airstrip, look how he trots along the airstrip. He knows being out in the open is far more sort of insecure than being in a thicket, and that's why he trotted across the airstrip so quickly, is to just try and get away. And look, he's moving into that golden light. Is that not just absolutely perfect? You can see him. There he goes, walking off in towards the sunset. Now hopefully he doesn't go into Chitwa camp, which it looks like he's going to at the moment, so we'll try and keep up with him before he gets there. Little tail twitch because he's probably spotted something. There's a lot of prey items around Chitwa. You'll find a lot of bushbuck, a lot of nyala, so you might find that he spots those, and that little tail will just show his excitement. A leopard's tail is very expressive. They often will have a situation where they twitch and move it when they spot something. Right, let's keep up with him before he disappears, because he is going straight towards the Chitwa hangars, and well, not the hangar actually, we've come from the hangar. He's going straight towards Chitwa's back of house, so where our antenna is these days. And it's amazing, before we used to battle with reception on this particular area, we used to really struggle, but now we've got a new little antenna in place. It means that we can spend time here and be able to follow one of our favorite little boys. And there he is, crossing the road. Isn't this magical, guys? And the light is just perfect for him at the moment. Oh, but he is really going to go into their camp at this stage, so we're not going to be able to follow him, I don't think, for much more than about 5 minutes. Hopefully it means that he's going to come out on the other side and go towards Chitwa Dam itself, although he seems to be moving. Oh, I don't know where he's going to go from here. It might be a long period until we're able to find him. He's busy sniffing around, so maybe he's caught the scent of something else. Hopefully it will mean that he's going to lie down at some point and just rest, and we'll still be able to view him. But it looks as though he's going to go deeper into the lodge, which is unfortunate for us, because we can't follow him any further than where we are now. So it might be just a brief glimpse of our little prince. Look how he stops. He might have seen somebody. There's actually staff that walk around in this area. This is the back of house, like I say. So this is where the staff is, and where I actually used to live is just to the right of where he is now. And this was quite a common thing for us. We often used to have leopards walking around, but it used to be Tundi back in the day, and Mvula. Those were the two that we used to see around Chitwa Lodge a lot. I remember having Tundi once walk into my bedroom, which was quite an interesting experience. She, I think, got the same fright as what I did. Oh, he's lying down for us. Perfect. So let's try and get around quickly and see if we can't get a better view of him now that he's decided to lay down. As though he's just settled in his life. Is going to be perfect to be able to see him and to be able to kind of camouflage if there is potentially any prey animal here. It's amazing actually how well he does blend in now. So I'm just going to try and turn. Senzo, you just tell me when you get a nice gap, but I think from where I am now should be good. I'm just going to come around this way. Thank you, Hosana, for stopping. Oh, he tried to go after a little button quail. You silly boy. That's not enough food for you. You're a growing lad. You need to get something bigger than a button quail. But There we go, look at that. Doesn't he just look so majestic these days? And his eyes almost seem as though they're going a deeper orange day by day. Virginia, you want to know how often Hosana is with Shongile and how is she after the fight with Thandi? The answer to the second part of that question is we have no idea. We have not seen Shongile since that fight. We don't know how she is. The tracks, there was lots of tracks for females all over the place, so I'd imagine that she's okay, that she's been able to move through. Where are you walking? Lots of stuff in your face. You can see how he's closing his eyes as he walks. See how he just comes right past the vehicle, just looking up at us. That's the edge of the car. You're going to just sniff around the tyres, and there he goes. So we don't know how Shongile is. We've got no idea at the moment what her condition is. We haven't seen her since that fight, but hopefully she's okay, given that we haven't found any tracks or any signs of a limping animal or anything like that in that area. The second part of your question, or the first part, but the second answer to your question, is that how much time they spend together is a complete mystery at the moment. I know that they did spend quite a lot of time earlier in the year, just after Kruger's disappearance. They spent a lot of time together on Little Gowrie. Since then, it seems to be less and less and less time. And in fact, the Saturday last week was the first time we'd seen them together in about 3 months, as far as I know. So they really don't spend much time together like they used to at all. And this is going to be commonplace. They are going to separate as siblings. Now, unfortunately, our little boy seems as though he's going to go and fix some cars at Chitwa because he's walking straight into the workshop at the moment. And so while we try and figure out how we're going to keep visual of him, let's go to Byron, who I believe has a playful elephant, just like the playful Hosana. Well, Byron, I'm not going to even comment on that. I think you know what rabbit hole you have just slipped down, but let's not go that route. Now, our little Hosana has been almost like a circus performer. He's been up and down trying to chase a squirrel that is in the roof of the building that he's up against at the moment. So he's sitting right on the wall and he keeps seeing a squirrel that's running up and down on the rafters, alarm calling at him. So he's now sitting inside that thicket. So there he is over there, and he's busy watching the squirrel inside the roof and catching flies. He's not a one-trick pony as a Hosana. He can do many things. It's been seriously funny watching him trying to find the squirrel in amongst the rafters and trying to chase it where there's no way he can jump on and actually get it. So it's been highly entertaining to watch. Now I'm going to try and keep up with him because he's going through. I'm hoping he's not going to turn actually into the lodge itself. I'm hoping that he will just carry on and head down towards the dam. It would be really nice if that is the case, because the lodge itself, although it seems like he's going to do it, yes, he's going to go inside the lodge. He's going to go look at our handiwork at the new tower and the mast that's been put up. There you go. You can see him walking inside the workshop. Where are you going, young man? So this is now into the workshop itself to go and see what's going on. So he's going to go and investigate the diesel tanks now. There we go. That's the diesel tanks where they fill up the vehicles. And just around the corner is actually where all the cars park. So he's now going to give somebody a rather large fright, because just beyond those diesel tanks is the first set of rooms for some of the staff. So I would imagine somebody's about to get a rather nasty surprise as they walk outside of their room. So I don't know where we're going to go from here, because he's now kind of gone that direction, which means I'm going to try and actually just loop around, because there is another exit to this particular area, and I'm hoping that what he's going to do is decide to go all the way through and we'll be able to see him on the other side. Now it just goes to show you just how relaxed these little royal cubs are, that they can move around just inside these kind of places and not really worry too much about what's going on. You can hear birds and monkeys all going crazy. And so while we try and find Hosana again in amongst the buildings, let's go across to Jamie, who I think doesn't have any such problem with her lions in the plains of Africa. So Hosana has run, and he's really very close to Nyala. There he is there, and the Nyala's on the other side of the car. So there's the Nyala. You can see they're very close. Now the Nyala's seen something, whether it's going to react or hasn't seen. No, there we go. The Nyala's gone. Hosana, you're a bit too brave, my boy. You came out too much. You can see he's a bit confused now by all of this, and is now sitting and just watching the Nyala run off. Sorry, boy. It was close, though. Well done. You got into a good position, at least. And you can see how he actually reacted using our vehicle, which is quite interesting. That's behavior that he must have learnt already from Karula. That's how he knows that he must try and get behind some sort of object to be able to hunt. So very clever already. Well done. Now, I'm just trying to get rid of about 4 million buffalo thorns that are in my steering wheel at the moment so that I don't get thorns in my hand, because we went through some horrible thickets. I have probably a whole buffalo thorn branch in my back as well at the moment as I try to keep up with this little man as he moves around through this thicket. So I'm going to try and just get round again. Tulan, who's 5 years old. Tulan, you want to know, will Hosana be in the naughty corner or be in trouble if he goes to where people live? Well, Tulan, here in this part of the world, no, because everybody here knows that we live around wildlife. Careful there, Senzo. We live around wildlife, and this is their home before it was our home. And so we know that these animals do walk around here, and we're aware of it. And if they come through, we just give them their space. And as you can see with Hosana, is he didn't stay long. He kind of went through and looked around, sniffed around, and then he left. So it's not a big problem for him. He doesn't mind, and us as people, we don't mind if he's around, as long as he doesn't try and go into anywhere and try and hurt anybody. It's not a problem at all. If he starts to get a bit angry with the people and tries to chase them and eat them, then yes, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But for now, he's not in any trouble whatsoever. Matthew, you're wondering if yelling would provoke a wild leopard if you encountered it. Matthew, most certainly it would. Leopards are animals that rely on their camouflage to be able to stay hidden, and so when you come along, there he goes, trotting up the mound. Are you going to sit there? Oh, look at this, guys. Look at that sunset and the silhouette of Hosana on top. Isn't that just beautiful? Look at that. Wow, guys, that is so special. Now he's going to sit there. This is so cool. Hosana, you are posing, my boy. That is amazing. So he's just sitting on top of the mound, taking it easy, gazing upon the sunset. Now, getting back to the question, in terms of yelling, if you did yell, you're going to make this animal a lot more wary of you and a lot more nervous, and that's not going to help you in any way whatsoever. So it's better not to be yelling. It's better to try and just hold your ground and to try and just walk back slowly, stay nice and silent, avoid eye contact, and that should be the best way to get yourself out of a problem when it comes to a leopard. But isn't this special, guys? How cool is this? Like I say, it's not every day you're going to get sunset. Absolutely special. That is the most amazing thing to see. Oh, and it was just a brief glimpse, and down he goes again. But that was so cool. It's, like I say, just perfectly lined up with this termite mound to be able to see that. And I'm going to try and keep up. Mike is calling me on the radio as well, so I need to answer him so he can find us and be able to with us. Mike, if you copy me, you need to come from Chitwa dam wall side, come through that crossing on the southern side of the dam wall, and then I'm just going now west in the block towards the cut line. No, Mike, you need to come south of the dam wall. So come south as though you're going up towards that open area off the airstrip. And then once I get your audio, I'll let you know. But you should see me from the road. So there we go. We've got Mike on his way here, which is good news. So we've helped him. But this area what we're about to go through is going to be very difficult. To keep up with Hosana through here is not easy. I've followed a few different leopards. This used to be a favorite of Tundi, Wabayiza, and even Safari. Karula's mom used to spend a lot of time in this area. So I've done this for us. Now, Meg's told me I need to, well, not need to, but that I can link away, but I didn't copy who. So either you're going to get Biceps Byron or you're going to get Petite Jamie. Either one, I'm sure you'll be happy to see. We do, Byron, but unfortunately he's heading right towards the Little Gowrie Chitwa cut line, so our chance of staying with him for too much longer is severely at risk at the moment, unless he decides to turn a little bit more south. If he keeps the direction he's going, we won't have him, unfortunately, for too much longer. So just going to try and keep up with him. It's difficult to see him now. It's also getting to that light where the spotted coat completely to be jumping up onto there. Now, I believe a lot of you did some screenshots of Hosana, and well, how can we blame you? That was just so beautiful to see with him on top. It looks like he's going to go up this termite mound too, so let's try quickly get in here, Senzo. Don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to try. There we go. Sorry, trees. Luckily, most of these are dead, and a lot of them are trees that grow fairly quickly, so there's a lot of sickle bush in this area and buffalo thorn, both of which are fairly fast growing. Oh no, is that buffalo thorn in the way, Senzo? Is that okay? No, it's okay. There we go, at least he stopped for 5 seconds so we can have a look. And you see he's sniffing around. I wonder how much time he's been spending here. It's interesting because this is still deep in Tingana's territory. There's no other young males that have been pushing up this way. This used to be where Tumba used to hang out. So it's almost like Hosana and Tumba have swapped roles recently. Hosana has come to Chitwa and Tumba to Djuma, which we're not complaining because at least we can see both of them still on a fairly regular basis. So happy about that. Now, are you going to lie down or are you on a hunting mission? I think he's just hungry, so he's looking around. He's not exactly empty, and he's not as though he's looking very skinny. Oh, you perfect cat, well done. Now let's just get into position that we can actually see him front on, because he's lying ever so perfectly for us. Sorry, little Hosana, we're just going to creep around like this. Alright, Senzo, just got to try and squeeze through this little gap. There we go. Senzo, how's that? Isn't that wonderful? Now he's at least gone on top of the mound and is now relaxing perfectly. And you can see that he's starting to look better and better, and he's starting to get bulky. Yes, we're talking about you. Wow. And look at his eyes. His eyes are still getting, like I was saying earlier, they looked so orange in that sunset, but there's quite a lot of green in them. If you see, just in around the pupil there's a little bit of a blue-green hue, and then that orange outer ring. And the pupils are slowly but surely getting bigger. Oh, big yawn, nice healthy white teeth for a young male, in good condition. Very nice. So, Chitty Chatty Meg, you want to know if all leopards have pink noses or are some of them black? Now, Chitty Chatty Meg, this is an interesting one because you'll hear a lot of guides say that a pink nose means a young animal. It's not necessarily true. If you take Hosana and Shongile, you'll see Shongile's nose is pretty black already, whereas Hosana's is quite pink. Now, most of the time, young animals or young cats will have pink noses, so lion and leopard, and you'll find that their noses do have quite a pink hue to them. But there will be some that will carry their pink nose all the way through their life. If you look at Shadow, she's got a very pink nose. Quatile also had a pink nose, and you'll see that Hosana's is still quite pink at the moment too. Go ahead, Mike. So I'm just trying to get Mike into this sighting. No, Mike, you need to come south onto that road that's got the power line. So Vessel Drive, where you're north of where I am now. And if you come onto the power lines road, you'll see me from the road. He's just gone static on a termite mound. So he's just looking around, typical young male, just like Tumba. Checks around all over the place, sees what's happening, looks up into the trees, see if there's anything that he can see from that area. So he's a typical youngster in that regard. Now, hopefully he's going to settle a little bit here. He's starting to yawn, and he's making a few sort of grooming motions, which generally actually means that he's not going to be too settled. When you see cats yawning, it normally is a sign that they are going to start moving, so I don't think he's going to be down for too long. Hopefully he will stay for us for the rest of the drive so that we can enjoy his presence, because it's so nice to spend time with him, and I'm surprised that nobody else is with us. It's just us on our own. Mike is coming now, like I say, from Cheetah Plains, but otherwise it's just us all by ourselves, which is fantastic. It's the best thing to spend time with a leopard on your own. You feel as though you have a very intimate experience when you are with the leopard by itself. But you can see looking around all over the place, very alert, very aware. And he needs to be, especially when he's pushing into areas that he hasn't spent too much time. Cindy, you want to know how old will Hosana be when he tries to set up a territory? Well, Cindy, that's obviously up to the male leopards in this area. So if we find like Tingana gets hold of him early, you might find he gets pushed out and then he's nomadic for a while until he finds himself a territory, or he could be like Quarantine and be able to get himself a territory fairly quickly. So we'll find with Quarantine, he was able to get himself in and early, and he's now a dominant male already at his young age. So it just depends on the density of the males within the area, but you're looking at more than likely around 4 to 5 years old. That's generally when they start looking for a territory. Some leopards are unlucky and they only get one by 6 years old. Others get, unlucky and only get one at 6 years old. Others get lucky and will get a territory already when they are 3.5, 4, like Quarantine did. But now we're turning back down into a thicket, so we're going to try and see if we can't just keep up with him while we do that. Byron's now on his quest to keep his list going in the bird challenge by looking for the more nocturnal species. Well, that's the last glimpse of Hosana that we're going to get as he slinks off in a westerly direction, deeper into Little Gowrie and Vessels. And we're right on the cut line of those two properties, and he's now slinking off into that area, and we soon will lose visual of him as his spots take over and the camouflage sets in, so we will start to not see him anymore. You can see he's quite a long way already, and he's following a nyala, that same nyala that saw him and ran. He's caught up with it again, and it ran again because he was a little bit brazen in his approach, and he's still following it. It seemed to have crossed over here, so I wish him best of luck as he follows that nyala deeper into the thickets and into the setting sun. But wasn't that special, guys? What an amazing afternoon.